If you started a job and then think to yourself, cripes, I am totally swamped, and I am. This greenhouse is packed out. We've been building this grow your own area now for several months. The concrete floors down, the beds are in and everything, and we've conditioned the soil. There has been so much manure got into these beds here, you wouldn't believe, but you know, the secret's in the sauce. I put a lot of effort in. And around the outside I've got all the netting up, well, it's wire actually, to stop the rabbits getting in. And I thought I'd missed the potato season. I really did. I went into the local garden centre because seed potatoes are usually in a lot earlier than this, and I saw them. They were selling them off. Look at that. Hold on. Hey up, hey up. It's been double discounted. It's got a yellow sticker in there. It must have been something before that, and it's now down to 49p, and look at them. I can't see these little spuds going in the bin because no one wants to buy them. They can go down into my garden area here and get it going. Now, I put them in little egg boxes. It's a process called chitting with a CH. And what you do is you put them in egg boxes. Actually, there was 2 egg boxes. I've just combined them into one to help me carry them outside. And it just sort of like initiates growth. And they may look a little bit wrinkly at the moment, a little bit like an elephant's leg. Look at it there. But these will be great. When they're in the ground, as soon as they start growing, they've got all the ingredients they need to get started. You know, it's either a choice of using these or not having them. These are a main crop. So obviously there's earlies, there's first earlies, and there's earlies, and then there's a main crop here. These are the ones that we'll be harvesting a lot later on in the season. But these are going to produce a lot of really good potatoes for my family. I'm getting them at 49p. It's another saving. When you're at a garden centre, always check the discount areas. Invariably, you'll find plants that have just finished flowering, that are still good, or have been in the pot for a long time. Take them back, give them a bit of love, and it makes the enjoyment of gardening so much more special. So, I'm going to get these in the ground. So this is the bed. I've got 3 beds. I'm going to do a thing, crop rotation really, where I'm swapping different types of crop every year into a different bed, because there are advantages of that constant moving, which I'll explain in another video. So yes, for the sake of it, this particular big bed here, I'm going to do potatoes and a lot of my root crops, which is things like carrots are going to go in here, the onions will go in here, the beetroot, what else have I got in there? I've got some parsnips and things like that. So this bit of ground here is going to be a great production for the family, and a quick carry over to the kitchen over there as well. So I've spent a lot of time preparing the soil and digging in a lot of goodness there. It was previously a lawned area, so I've had a covering of plastic all over this. It's been about for about a month or so, something similar to that, to stop a lot of weeds germinating. 1 or 2 have come up, but I've noticed they were probably in the pots of the espalier apple trees that I've got surrounding the area. So, but anyway, let's get on to potatoes and put them into the ground. Now, normally you'd string out to make sure you get absolutely precise lines, but the beds are so small. I think with a keen eye, I know what I'm doing. So my aim is I'm going to dig a trench, take a trench of soil out and mound it on the side. So that helps in a couple of ways, and I'll explain that as I go. But the first thing, start digging, David. Now as I'm digging, I'm loosening up the soil at the same time. Sometimes I find if you're hitting something solid, it's always better just to loosen things up. There we go. And then take it out. When you're digging, don't, whatever you do, think it'll be a lot easier going to the shops and picking them up, because the physical exercise of doing them is very good for you. The secret is just keeping as straight as possible and using the leverage of the handle of the spade to do most of the heavy work. So it is good for you. But of course, when you're tending plants, it's a lot easier, you know, weeding and mounding up as the potatoes grow. So this is part of the process. Hold up, kids are back from school. With a bit of luck, I might get some help. Unlikely if it's digging. Now, the trench does look a bit big for potatoes, but because this ground hasn't been cultivated before and it was just sort of like grass and field land and we're converting it, I want to try and break up deep down in the soil, so I'm putting fresh soil over the top so it's easier for the potatoes to establish themselves rather than a heavy dense soil, if that makes sense. Next thing you need to do is just work out your measurements, and I think that's the same with all plants you put into the ground, certainly when you're looking at crops and the like. So the secret is it's 13 centimeters deep. It looks a lot deeper because of course I've mounded the soil either side. So 13 centimeters down, and then I do 30 centimeters in between each potato and 60 centimeters, double that, in between the rows. So this row here, 60 centimeters, the next row, to get them all in. Now, you know, when you're putting them between one and the other, you don't need to measure all the time, of course. I usually work out the tip of my finger to my rolled up sleeve is usually about 30 centimeters. See how much I've gone? Slightly over there, but it just gives you a bit of an idea that that's the length that I'm looking for. So I just grab hold of the potato, know which way up it's going, and just bed the first one in the ground like that. In fact, I'm going to move it over just a little bit so it's that side of the soil. And then, roughly, by looking at my eye, I'm putting in the next one, which is approximately 30 centimeters away. Look at that. And do that all the way along. Now I'm just going to put about 20 centimeters of soil just over the top of them. Really what you want to try and do is to get the foliage as far away from the potatoes as you can. So we're going to put covering of about 20 centimeters, something similar to that, of which tuft of foliage will then grow up. As it grows up, I'm going to take some more of the soil from either side, and I'll show you this as these plants are growing, and then just mound a bit of soil up on the leaves. So the leaves keep going towards the surface as I am making them get further away from the potatoes. Right, let's put some soil over the top, just a little bit, keeping the mound of soil just there. Now, you really want to make a mark of where you put the potatoes down. Now, some people can do it, obviously, with a little label or something similar to this. Because I've got this surround around the outside, I'm just going to mark in here, just a little marking where the line of spuds have gone. All I've got to do now is to create another trench 60 centimeters away from the potatoes and plant another row. Another workout. One thing to do when you've planted any vegetable plant is to water it well in. That's not just to make sure that there is good water in the root ball and around the base of the plant for the plant to drink, but it also helps settle the soil. The weight of the water will fill in any air gaps with soil that's around. And then monitor your plants regularly, certainly for the first week or so, to make sure they don't dry out and they can get themselves established.